Welcome back, dear learners, and thank you for joining us on another exciting storytelling journey. Today's story follows Elias Hart, a passionate traveling photographer who explores the world through his camera lens. In this adventure, we will discover 5 different chapters of his life moments in nature, encounters with animals, celebrations with people, creative product work, and thrilling sports photography. So sit back, relax, and let your ears guide you as we learn English through a beautiful and inspiring story. Chapter 1: Capturing Nature's Quiet Voice. Elias Hart had always believed that nature spoke a language of its own, soft, calm, but full of meaning. As a traveling photographer, he spent years wandering through forests, deserts, mountains, and oceans, chasing the single moment where the world opened its heart and allowed him to take a picture of its soul. This chapter begins with Elias arriving in the northern countryside after a long overnight bus ride. The sun was just rising, painting the sky with shades of orange and soft pink. The air was cold enough to make his breath visible, but warm enough to feel gentle on his face. He took a deep breath and smiled. This was exactly the kind of place he loved. Elias walked through a narrow dirt path surrounded by tall pine trees. The branches swayed lightly in the wind, whispering like they were sharing secrets with each other. Birds hopped from tree to tree, chirping cheerful morning songs. The world felt untouched, pure and peaceful, and Elias knew he had to capture this feeling. He set up his camera, choosing a wide-angle lens to show the depth and beauty around him. He waited years, never rushed. He believed every great landscape photo had a heartbeat, a perfect second when everything aligned. Then he saw it, a beam of sunlight hitting a patch of wildflowers at the exact moment a small deer stepped into view. The colors, the light, the silence, it all came together. Click. The photo froze, that perfect harmony forever. As the day continued, Elias explored deeper. He photographed waterfalls crashing into crystal pools, leaves glowing with sunlight, and rocks shaped by centuries of wind. He crawled on the ground to capture tiny mushrooms growing like miniature umbrellas. He climbed a hill to photograph a valley filled with morning fog. But his favorite moment came just before sunset. The sky turned a brilliant gold, and the faraway mountains shined like giants waking from sleep. Elias sat down, watching the horizon slowly swallow the sun. He lifted his camera and took one last shot, a golden sky stretching endlessly, reminding him of why he loved photography. It allowed him to keep beauty alive even after it disappeared. That night, he camped under the stars. He felt grateful. Nature had spoken to him again, and he had listened through his lens. Chapter 2: Creatures of the Wild. A day at the zoo the next week, Elias received an invitation from a wildlife center to photograph animals for an educational project. He agreed immediately. He adored animals and loved capturing their personalities. The zoo was full of sounds: parrots screeching, monkeys chattering, lions roaring in the distance. Children laughed as they ran from enclosure to enclosure. Caretakers pushed carts filled with fruits, vegetables, and meat. Elias took a moment to absorb everything. Photographing animals required patience, timing, and empathy. His first stop was the big cat area. A magnificent tiger paced back and forth, its muscles moving like waves under its striped fur. Elias watched carefully. He didn't simply want a picture of a tiger, he wanted a picture that showed its soul. Suddenly, the tiger stopped, lifted its head, and looked straight at Elias with deep golden eyes. Click. He captured the raw power and quiet sadness hidden inside that gaze. He moved on to the elephants. A young elephant calf tried to grab a ball with its trunk, stumbling like a toddler taking first steps. Elias laughed quietly as he photographed it. The moment was pure joy. At the aviary, colorful birds flew in circles above him. A bright blue macaw landed on a branch and spread its wings. The symmetry was perfect. Click. He captured the beauty of movement, but the highlight of his day came at the penguin exhibit. One penguin waddled closer than expected, staring at Elias curiously. Elias slowly sat on the ground. The penguin tilted its head, as if saying, "What are you doing down here?" Elias took a soft, gentle photo, not just of the penguin, but of a small moment of connection between species. As the sun set, Elias realized something. Animals didn't pose for the camera. They lived their lives naturally, and that authenticity was what made wildlife photography magical. Chapter 3: Faces in the Crowd. The festival a month later, Elias traveled to a famous cultural festival to document human expression. The streets were filled with people, dancers, musicians, families, artists, visitors from all over the world. Colors exploded everywhere. Bright costumes, flying ribbons, glowing lanterns, shimmering face paint. Elias didn't take pictures right away. He preferred to blend into the crowd first. Observing photography, he believed, wasn't just about the lens. It was about understanding people. He saw a man making giant soap bubbles that floated in the air like shimmering planets. Children jumped, trying to pop them. Click. Elias captured the moment a bubble burst into glitter-like droplets. He found a group of dancers performing a traditional routine. Their feet moved fast, their hands flew through the air, and their clothes swayed rhythmically. Click. He captured motion and emotion in one frame. But the most memorable moment was with an elderly woman selling handmade bracelets. Her wrinkles told stories, her eyes sparkled with kindness, and her smile was warm. Elias asked permission before photographing her. She nodded proudly. The picture turned out beautiful, full of wisdom and life, as fireworks filled the sky that night. Elias took a final festival photo, people looking upward in awe, their faces lit by red and blue sparks. It was a perfect reminder that joy connects us all. Chapter 4: The Art of Selling. Product Photography Back Home. Elias accepted a commercial project photographing handmade products for a small family business. This type of photography was different controlled lighting, perfect angles, precise details. It wasn't about capturing spontaneous moments. It was about creating beauty intentionally. He arranged jewelry on velvet cloth, making sure the light reflected softly off each gem. He photographed wooden crafts, adjusting shadows to highlight textures. He used reflectors, soft boxes, and multiple lenses. The challenge was transforming simple objects into something desirable. He wanted people not just to see the products, but to feel them. After several hours, he produced a series of photos that looked elegant, clean, and emotional. The business owners were amazed. "You made our products look magical," they told him. Elias smiled humbly. To him, every object had a story. He just helped it speak. Chapter 5: The Final Shot. A football match under the lights, his last project of the season, took him to a packed football stadium. The energy was electric. Fans shouting, drums beating, flags waving. Floodlights filled the field with sharp brightness. For a photographer, sports were challenging. Fast movement, unpredictable angles, and intense moments. Elias positioned himself near the sideline. The whistle blew. The game exploded with speed. He captured a striker sprinting with determination, sweat flying from his forehead. He photographed a goalkeeper diving like a flying arrow. He caught fans jumping after a goal, their faces filled with emotion. Click, click, click. Every second mattered, but the most iconic shot came during the final minutes. A player made a bicycle kick, legs in the air, body twisting, ball flying. Elias caught it midair, the stadium lights forming a dramatic halo around the player. It was the perfect final shot of his journey. That night, Elias returned home, transferred all his photos, and looked through them. Nature, animals, people, products, sports, each chapter of his life told a different story. Through his lens, he had captured the world in all its forms, and he smiled, ready for the next adventure. Thank you so much for watching and listening until the end. In today's story, we followed Elias Hart across forests, zoos, festivals, studios, and stadiums. We discovered how every moment he captured had a feeling, a message, and a story of its own. Through his lens, we saw nature, animals, people, products, and sports come to life all in one inspiring journey. Now it's your turn. Here are 4 questions for you to answer in the comments. Which chapter was your favorite and why? What type of photography do you enjoy the most? What new English words did you learn from this story? If you were a photographer, what would you love to capture? Thank you again for being part of our learning community. See you in the next story.